Awesome. So welcome back to our series on the foundational terms to keep us on the right side of the cross-cultural communication as we educate and learn here with the Eagle Heart Foundation. So we have Alanna here, and Alanna is going to explain to us assimilation. So what are we talking about? Define it and give us an example of assimilation.
So assimilation is a really fascinating term in terms of culture because a lot of times when a minority culture in a situation where they are trying to assimilate will actually get accused of cultural appropriation, which is a very different thing. So assimilation basically is to absorb into the cultural tradition of a population or a group or to make similar. So a perfect example of this is people of indigenous populations here in the United States being taken away from their families, taken off of the reservations, put into schools, being told you cannot speak your native language. We are going to cut your hair, which many Native traditions, long hair is a spiritual thing. So to cut that, they take their religion away, they take their spirituality away. They're told they're not allowed to speak their native language, and they're taught Christianity. And that was a form of forced assimilation where a group of quite frankly white people came in and thought they were trying to be helpful and were coming at it from a place in their hearts where they thought they were doing the right thing, and basically ripped these people from their culture and tried to make them forget that. And the other way that people do assimilation is to choose to do assimilation. So people who are in the BIPOC community will sometimes dye their hair to a lighter color. They will attempt to change the texture of their hair to be more of a European beauty standard. There have been attempts to lighten the skin or even changing the way that they speak in front of certain people. And that is a form of chosen assimilation, which in a way is still not great because in a way assimilation is very close to erasure of one's culture because you are afraid of being looked at as other. And that is another thing too, is this is also very different from somebody who is naturally lighter skinned than some of their counterparts who is just more naturally able to fit in. That is not necessarily assimilation. It's just they're able to get by a little bit easier because of colorism.
Yeah, it really, you spoke straight to me because for those of you who are not aware, my father, full blood Navajo, and he was born 1935, and if you do your history with the Navajo Nation, you will understand that my father was taken from the Hogan and put into boarding school, which is more like military school, and his hair was cut, he was taught Christianity, he was told not to speak his own language, and so that touches my heart. I also so I really appreciate you saying that, because I think that a lot of that, you know, I like the fact that you said that sometimes it's a choice and sometimes it's forced, because I think that societally a lot of times we will find ourselves in, especially in you know, the place in the United States that we are in. I don't think Canada is much or not, but I would say within just, you know, the US of A, it's almost, there's a lot of forced where, and it's really kind of come out that you have to, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So I like the fact that when it's forced, understanding that it's almost one society dominating another and saying you have to look like us in order to be us, which then those are the dominant ones, and then you have the marginalized groups. And here at the Eagle Heart Foundation, we support the marginalized groups to equalize everybody that comes to the table. So do you have any last words about assimilation?
I think the biggest thing to remember with assimilation is that even though there is forced and chosen assimilation is still a very unfortunate thing, because it means that people are either afraid or uncomfortable with expressing their cultural identity in an area where people who are not of their culture will be, and they are afraid of either being mocked or made fun of, or even in certain situations put in danger.
I love it. I love that you say that. And here's a phrase that I coined. I was Native American before being Native American was cool. So I get it. I totally get it. So thank you for that. And I look forward to the next video.